Hi guys, it's Ebony and I'm back to share with you the results of my AncestryDNA test. I showed you guys the test a while back and I told you all when I got my results back that I definitely would come back and share it with you guys, so that's what I'm here to do. And I'm going to talk a little bit first. I already looked at my results. I didn't wait to share it with you guys at the same time I was seeing it for the first time myself. I didn't wait for that, so I apologize. So the excitement is kind of going. I actually looked at it probably about 3 days ago. But definitely I'm still here to share it. So I'm going to talk a little bit first. If you just happen to stumble upon this video because you wanted to see how the test works or you wanted to see people's different results, then I'm going to put the time on the screen somewhere, probably on this side, where you can actually fast forward to me showing you the actual results on my computer. But for those of you who are interested, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the test first. So the test took about 3 weeks from the time that they received it in the mail until the time that they gave me my test results online, and which is pretty quick. I think the test says it normally takes about 46 weeks. When I got the test, I only had to provide a small saliva sample and then mail it to them in an envelope that they provided. The saliva sample, the only criteria that I had to make sure I met when providing the sample is that I could not eat or drink or chew gum 30 minutes prior to providing the saliva, and that was pretty simple. Put it in a tube, sealed it up with some liquid that was supposed to preserve the DNA, mailed it off. They processed it, and I got my results back. Now, I don't know how accurate the results are. I don't know. I know when I signed up online and I sent my saliva sample and that package and all of that, it never asked me for my ethnicity or like any personal information like that. So the fact that it came back and it said that I was it pretty much matched what I thought it would as far as my ethnicity results, is really good. Because it didn't know if I was a Caucasian person or a black person or whatever, but it came back with me being primarily of African descent. So I'm thinking that it might be pretty accurate, but I don't know how accurate it is as far as pinpointing where your DNA most likely comes from. So most of us are kind of like under the understanding that a lot of Black American people are a mixture of a lot of different ethnic groups, and my test results definitely showed that. Yeah, we are all a mixture of something, multiple things. So I pretty much can say every Black American person is mixed, if you want to use that term. I don't really like that term, but we're just mixed up of so many different ethnic groups. So I'll show you my breakdown. And I also wanted to mention that before taking this test, I really kind of felt a little bit disconnected from my African roots. Like I never really felt African, and most of you guys are familiar with the fact that if you're subscribed to my channel, I have actual African people living in my household, part of my immediate family, and they are able to speak their local language. They know what tribe they're from. They are very in touch with a lot of different aspects of their culture, and having that in my house, it probably even made me feel further detached from my African roots, because I don't have any of that. The only thing that I'm really able to cling to as far as my African heritage is like my skin color and like my appearance, the texture of my hair, those things. But as far as the other stuff that goes into that, I don't have that. So it kind of made me feel even further away from my African roots, just having like my husband being from Africa and then my stepdaughter being from Africa. And then the fact that I'm able to trace back 5 generations of my family to Alabama. I was able to trace back 5 generations of my family as being born in Alabama, which is really cool, I think, too. But that even furthermore makes me feel more American than anything. But after taking this test and actually being able to see how my DNA breaks down, now I really feel African American. Like I really feel more in touch with being African. I don't know why. Nothing has changed except the fact that I kind of know where my DNA comes from, but nothing else has changed. But I do feel, you know, more connected to being a person of African descent. All right, so I'm going to get into my test results right now. I'm going to pull it up on the screen for you guys. I'm going to say off the bat, my breakdown was like this. I have 84% African DNA, so 84% African, 14% European DNA, and less than 1% Native American, and less than 1% Pacific Islander, which is very interesting. I don't know how that got up in there, but it's very interesting. All right, so let me see if I can show you guys my screen here. Alright guys, so I have it up here on my screen. I hope you can see it because I blew it up pretty big so you guys can see. So it says ethnicity estimate for everything Ebony. I use my YouTube name because they allowed me to pretty much, you know, put in whatever name you want. Just for privacy purposes, I decided to use my YouTube name. So let me just blow it up a little bit more. Alright, so right here on the left hand side, it actually breaks down the DNA by percentages. So it starts off with 84% African, or 84% of my DNA matched with Africa, and then the majority of my DNA, or the highest percentage of my DNA, actually comes from Nigeria, which is very, very interesting to me. I never would have thought that. I never would have thought that I'm pretty much over a fourth Nigerian, because based on this it says 27%, so that's over a quarter Nigerian, which is very interesting. And then the next highest percentage came from the Ivory Coast Ghana region. Now I actually grouped those two countries together into a region, and I'm assuming it's because they probably have similar DNA. Those two countries, the people in those two countries probably have very similar DNA, so they just grouped it into a region. That's my assumption. I don't know for sure, but they grouped it together, and 17% of my DNA matched with the Ivory Coast Ghana region, which is very cool. My husband is from Ghana, so that makes me happy to know that. And then next we have Banan Togo, that region, which is, let me see if I can blow up this map for you. Drag it down. So the Banan Togo region is right here in between Ghana and Nigeria. And it says 12% of my DNA matched with that particular region. And then next, 9% from Senegal. So as you can probably already see, like, it's just a whole mixture of a lot of different ethnic groups, mainly in West Africa, but a lot of different ethnic groups. So next, it was 9% from Senegal. Senegal is right up here. And then it said 9% match with the Cameroon-Congo region. And then it said 8% matched with a region that they are calling Africa Southeastern Bantu. My husband was able to give me some good information about Bantu. He said it was a tribe, or is a tribe. I'm not sure if it is or was, but he was giving me some information that was pretty cool about that. And then it also has some trace regions. It says 1% Mali, and then less than 1% in a region that they call Africa South Central Hunter-Gatherers. So if you're unfamiliar with where these places are, you can match up the colors with the map over here, and it'll kind of tell you the different regions. So this big green region down here is the African Southeastern Bantu region, and this big blue region is what they call Africa South Central Hunter-Gatherers. So I guess DNA is found in all of those countries that make up that region, but it's pretty broad and pretty broad, but I'm not too much concerned with that because it says like less than 1% of this region in blue, so very negligible amount. So then when I go down, the next category is America, and it says I'm less than 1% Native American. And then the next percentage group is European, 14% European. And then it groups a whole region of European countries into a category that they call Europe West, which is 11% of my DNA comes from Europe West. And let me show you guys on the map where exactly that is located. So it's pretty much these countries right here: France, Germany, Italy, part of Poland, like Belgium, Netherlands. So 11% of my DNA match with that region. And then I have a few trace regions underneath the Europe category. 3% Great Britain, matched 3% of my DNA to that of those native to Great Britain. And then less than 1% Ireland. And then this is an interesting one. Pacific Islander, less than 1% of Melanesia, which is a very negligible amount to less than 1%. That's pretty much nothing, but it's just interesting that it was in there. And Melanesia would be this area right here. Let me see if I can blow it up a little bit. It says Papua New Guinea and some of these islands or whatever. So that's cool. And then so if you kind of, let me go back up. I wanted to show you guys something interesting. So let me go up here to Ivory Coast, Ghana. So if you pull up the category and you kind of scroll down the page, it's going to give you something very interesting. It says how Ebony compares to the typical person native to the Ivory Coast, Ghana region. So 17% of my DNA comes from that region, but the typical native only has 86% of their DNA from that region. And the reason why I say only, even though it's a huge percent, is because I guess in my ignorance, I figured if you're native to that region, I would think close to 100% of your DNA should be from that region if you're native from that region. But it only comes up saying that the typical native has 86% of their DNA that matches that region, which is, a very interesting fact. So even somebody who's a typical native to maybe, let's say, Ghana or the Ivory Coast, they still might have traces of other ethnic groups in their DNA results. So that's very interesting. And even more interesting, when I pull up Nigeria, is an even less percentage. So it's saying that 27% of my DNA matches to Nigeria, but the typical native to that country only has 69% of their DNA that matches. So that's interesting. So almost 70%. So another 30% could be from anywhere, maybe in Africa or maybe not, maybe outside of Africa. So the website also gives you more information. As you scroll down, some history information, geography, religion, various information about the slave trade, colonialism, ethnic groups, just a lot of very interesting information if you really want to get more details about the different ethnic groups you were matched to. It also gives some of the tribes. So in Nigeria, you have the Hausa and the Fulani, Yoruba, and the Igbo. So you have those tribes in Nigeria. Let me look at the Ivory Coast, Ghana region, which is very interesting because I'm more familiar with this region than anything. Let me see what it says about the tribes. Let's see. So it actually does not show. Well, yeah, it does. It says Akan people. So you have the Akan people. Let's see. Gives a few tribes up in here. Ashanti. Gives some really great information. Historical information. But it really doesn't show all of the tribes that are local to those regions, because I know of other tribes that I don't see here, like Ga, Ewe, but I don't see any of that information. But anyway, those are my results. Alright guys, so I hope you found this video interesting and helpful. I guess it would have been even more special if I was able to record the video at the same time I was actually viewing the test results for the first time myself, but I wasn't able to, so some of my excitement kind of wore off, so I wasn't able to share that excitement with you in this video like I had it on the first day I saw the results. But yeah, I'm really, really happy to be able to know some of the countries that I'm from, basically, that my ancestors are from, some of the countries my DNA is matched to. That makes me really, really happy to know. And um, yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for this video. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe for more videos. And also, if you did find this video helpful or interesting, please definitely give it a thumbs up so that it can be seen by more people. Thanks so much for watching. I will talk to you guys again soon. Bye-bye.